3 days ago the version changed,
Mm-hmm.
the Kubernetes version, and that has some issues with that. So that's why it was not able to configure kubelet.
Okay.
Okay, so this was the architecture. One master plane and master node, and the other one will be worker nodes. Wait, what happened? Hello,
Yes, sir.
Nalish, can you hear me?
I
Oh,
can.
okay. C2.
Sir, what is that? Athena?
That is an analytics service, not an investment. Sysop service it is.
Mm-hmm.
Data
Around
analytics.
200 services are there in AWS, right?
At least that much is there. Like if we combine all of them. We need to launch an instance. First, we are deploying the master node. Name it master Ubuntu. Let's go with 22 only. And make sure to select the type in which at least 2 CPU and 2 GB of RAM is there
Yes.
for the master node. Hmm. Either we can select this one T2.medium, in which we have 2 CPUs and 4 GB of RAM, or we can select one from T3 class, in which we have this one T3, 2 CPUs and 2 memory. So let's select this one T3 dot small. Keep here I'm using A. In the networking setting, we need to allow all the traffic. So I already have a security group. I'm using that one. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's it. Launch. And let's launch instance for worker.
3 worker nodes.
Yeah, 3 worker nodes. You
1 managed node.
can also use 2 worker nodes as well. Okay, so just for the
Sir, I have one doubt, sir.
hmm,
So in Docker, so Kubernetes, in the sense we are working with the Docker only majorly.
mhm.
So in Docker, the main thing is we are going to create a multiple containers in one machine only. So here, why we are creating a multiple machines, 3 machines, instead of 3 machines, we can create one machine, and in that only we can create multiple containers.
Yeah, but let's say if we want to deploy 100 containers.
Ah,
Okay, so in that case, if I already have a cluster of machines and on those we already have some resource which is usable, so we don't
mm,
need to change the type while the system is running. Okay,
okay.
like if I deploy the server, let's just for this scenario, just assume that we deployed it to t2.micro. But when we
Mm,
deployed around 10 containers on this one, the memory and resource got full. Okay, all of them were utilized. If I want to increase the setup, increase the type, okay, I need to stop the instance first.
Yes.
Only then we can change the instance type. Otherwise, we can't change it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if we stop the instance, the containers will also stop.
Yeah.
So that's why we take instances with some extra resources and on them, add them in the cluster, and the Kubernetes will automatically manage all the machines and deploy according to the need on whatever worker node the resource is available. The container will be deployed there.
Mm-hmm.
Here as well, let's allow all. Let launch. So now we need to access these machines. Instance state equals running. Let's wait for them to launch. Okay, so all the worker nodes are up. Let's change the name a little bit. Worker 1, 2. So let's connect them via kubectl. Okay. So I'm editing only these session, okay, which are already available. So added session, the IP address, username is Ubuntu, key pair is a.pem. Just okay. Access that first. Sudo su hyphen, and let's set the host name as well. Host name ctl.
Set host name.
Set host name master.srk.com. Exit. Okay, so the host name has been changed. Let's access the rest of the machines too. IP address, add it, and okay. Worker 2, add it, paste, and okay. And worker 3 as well. So we need to change the host name of all the machines. Host name ctl, set host name worker1 dot srk.com. It has been changed.
Yes, sir.
On worker 2 as well, sudo su hyphen hostname ctl, set host name worker2 dot com. And same on worker 3. Set host name worker3.com. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And now let's open this multi-execute mode. Clear screen. So the host name has been set master, worker 1, worker 2, and worker 3.
To clear screen, it's a control L, right? In master node. Sorry, in
In Linux, control L.
control L. Okay.
Now let's move on with the rest of the steps. Kubernetes, getting started. So here we need to download and install tools, including kubectl. As
Yeah.
we already talked about this,
Yes.
we have multiple methods. First one is we can install them manually, all the components, or we can use minikube for
One
if you
machine.
want to work in one machine only. Worker and control both will be in same. And kubeadm that which we are gonna use. So view install guide. And right now the latest version that was deployed is 1.26. We
Mhm.
want to install version 1.25. Okay.
Sorry,
So
sorry.
let's this version 1.26 just released in
Okay.
this week only. Okay, so we are
Oh,
going with the previous version, which is stable
okay.
version
So that's the
1.25.
that's the reason we were not able to install yesterday.
Correct. Right.
So we have to install 1.26 now.
1.25 we are installing. 1.26 still have some bugs in that. Not everything is supported with this. Okay.
So which one we have to install? So in my system, which one I have to install?
1.25.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay. So this let's just skip this. First we need to install
Container
the
runtime.
container runtime Ubuntu. Sorry, Docker on Ubuntu. So let's go and fetch that script. Docker install on Ubuntu. Hold on a sec. दे देना मेरे को. Okay, so let's go to that script. Here it is. Okay, so we are just gonna copy and multi paste. Enter. Wait for it. See on the master node, it was done fast compared to these because on master the memory is more and the
Yes.
CPUs are more as well.
Mhm.
Let's check Docker hyphen hyphen
Gotcha.
version. Let's
Yes.
install. Okay.
Yeah.
After this, we need to create a file for the C groups. Okay, we'll talk about what C groups are later on. For now, just go
Slash
to
etc
etc
slash docker and
docker daemon.json.
JSON.
And now we have that file on desktop
Uh,
daemon.json. I'll share this one. Let me just send it to you. Let's paste it in the file. Okay.
Mm.
Save it. Then restart the service. System CTL restart Docker. Okay.
Mm.
Now let's go back to that link. Now we need to follow the rest of the steps. Okay, and before going on the next step, we also need to configure this CRI docker D. Okay. Before 1.22 version, it was automatically integrated. Okay, but now we need to integrate it so that Kubernetes can communicate with the Docker. Otherwise, it will not be able to create the containers in that. Okay, so let's open this link. And here it is. So we need to copy this, multi-paste. So it has been cloned in our system, CRI docker D. Okay. Now
Yes,
we
sir.
just need to follow the rest of the steps. So we are using Docker, that's why we are using CRI docker D. If we used cryo, then we would have used CRI for cryo. Okay.
Okay.
So let's just copy, multi-paste, and enter. Let's wait for it. It will take some time.
So, 1 second, sir. I'll rejoin. Some issues there with my side. Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So once this has been configured,
Mm.
the resource interface, then we'll move on with the installation of kubelet, kubeadm, and kubectl.
Okay.
Kubeadm is managing the cluster. Kubelet will manage the pods or containers on the nodes, on worker node and master node. And kubectl is the command by which we are communicating with the cluster.
Yes, sir.
Are you going through the interview questions and for the previous technologies that were done?
Yes, sir. I'm practicing.
And how's your startup going?
It's going good, sir. But the only problem is investment. So in startup means initial days we have to invest more money on or things like we have to promote our business to the people through ads or offline marketing pamphlets and newspaper ads.
Right.
Mm. So it takes initial investment. So we are investing, but still it needs some
Mm-hmm.
more. It takes some time.
Right. The initial phase takes more time. Once it's well known, then
Yes, sir. But actually, in Bangalore, it's not an option. It's a need in Bangalore. So
mm-hmm.
that's the reason we can utilize that need as our source. So that's why we have started. So let's see. We hired
So
two members. So we have to pay the salary for actually.
you.
We three members partners. So we have started. So all are working
Mm-hmm.
people only. So one person is working in Accenture and another one is working for Capgemini. They
Right.
are into MBA. Uh,
So like how many? Two employees we have. Two guys we have hired.
so those two people for pick up and delivery. So that's totally field work.
Mm-hmm.
So they used to go to the customer place and they will pick up the product and again after service they will deliver the products to the customers.
Mm-hmm.
We have a website. So every leads will come to us only. So after that, we will assign the leads to our sales people. Sorry, delivery people.
Right. So right now you're covering Bangalore only, whole
Not,
Bangalore.
no, sir, not even Bangalore.
Or
Only two areas.
okay.
Yeah, but we have a plan to, grow our business like branches throughout the Bangalore after some time, not immediately.
Mm-hmm. Let me know the website as well. I'll share it with my friends. Okay.
In Bangalore,
Yeah, two or three are working there only.
okay, I'll send you right now. What? So my first, prefer not a preference actually. This is my life actually. So I should be working like DevOps. The reason why I'm learning DevOps means I should get a job and I should work in DevOps only because I know how business works. So sometimes, yeah, we can't believe on business nowadays. In even in Bangalore, especially in Bangalore, competition is
Mm-hmm.
very high. We can't trust our business even.
Okay, I'll share it with my friends. Hopefully, you'll get famous with it soon. Okay.
If they
Continuing.
call means I
Mm-hmm.
will not pick. Our team will pick the call.
Mm-hmm.
Even we hired one girl for sales, so her work is to call to the customers. We have a huge database actually. So I'm into digital marketing now. So I have
Mm-hmm.
almost 2 lakhs database. So what that girl will do means she will run WhatsApp campaign and everything. So there also we will get some leads. So her work is to contact the customers and after receiving the product, she will ask what is the feedback. So getting the feedback is very important in a business. So these all things she will handle. But still, I have a trust on this business, but I don't believe strongly. I don't believe on business.
Mm-hmm. Once it goes
Yeah, once it
well,
goes good means after starting some 3 4 branches in Bangalore means then I can leave the job,
right.
everything. Yeah.
Till then, you need some extra because you need a, you can say,
Yes, sir.
one thing you are proficient with in case
Mm.
something goes the other way.
Yeah, actually, this is the age, sir. Actually, we should take some risk. So otherwise,
Hmm.
after 35 or 40 means we should not regret. So in that time, the people starts to think like in 25 I supposed to start. I should start this or that. So this is the
Correct.
regret what people are facing. So this is the age we have to take a risk, I think.
Now we have the option. Even if something goes wrong, we will be able to manage and handle.
Yeah,
Later on, you have to think about your family as well. You will not be alone for at that age.
uh,
So you need to think about them as well.
yes, sir. So that's why I am doing my job. So
Mhm.
along with that, I am learning DevOps. Along with inside as well, this is our launch.
Hmm. Multitasking.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay, so let's continue with this one. Hmm. So we need to now install the packages. First, apt-get update, multi-paste, and install the dependencies. Then we need to download some keys which will be used for the package installation of Kubernetes, kubeadm, enter, create the repository, and till this point apt-get update, we just need to follow the step. Okay,
Mhm.
but after this we need to change something here. So if we just copy this command and run it, what it will do, it will install the latest version
Yes, sir.
1.26, but we
Mm.
want to install the previous
Fine.
version.
Yeah.
Okay, so for that we need to write the version like this, equal to 1.25.0 hyphen 00. Or if you
Mm.
want to install 1.25.4, so you'll install .4.
Okay.
So we're going with, let's install .4 here, and hyphen capital V.
Sir, it's
Hmm.
supposed to 5, right?
Hmm?
Because it should
So
be
yeah, no,
5.
this one 1.25, in that version we are installing the fourth release.
Uh-huh.
Okay, right
Okay.
now the version is 1.26.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, and this hyphen v needs to be added here. After this, kubeadm equals 1.25 4.04 hyphen 00 hyphen capital V. Same for kubectl 1.25 0 hyphen 4 hyphen 00 capital V. Enter. So it has been installed. Kubeadm, kubectl, okay, kubelets, and let's apt mark hold so it will not update when we run the command. So till this point we did in the previous
Yes,
session as well.
sir. Mm.
After this we need to run the initializing command, that is kubeadm init.
Mhm.
Okay, and we need to run that on the master node only.
On the master. Yes.
So let's exclude them from here, or let's just close this. Go to master node, kubeadm init, We also need to tell the CRI endpoint that we want to use. So there are two. One is containerd, which comes by default here, and the other one that we need to install that we need to use CRI dockerd.
Mm.
To hyphen CRI hyphen socket Unix / where run CRI hyphen dockerd.sock. Okay,
Yes, sir.
enter. Wait for it.
And when you will join, sir, to your work?
Don't know. They haven't given the joining date. Still, the document verification is going on.
Oh.
Waiting for that. Hopefully by Feb they'll give the joining date.
Mm-hmm.
Now Kubernetes control plane, that is master node, has been initialized.
Yes.
Okay. So if we are working with a local user, in that case, we need to do these steps. We need to create a .kube directory on the home directory of that user. Then we need to copy this file etc kubernetes admin.conf to the
Okay.
config directory in .kube. And then we need to set the host name, the ID of that user, the owner, we can say ownership and group membership of that user to that directory.
Okay.
If we are working with a local user, but right now we are working with root user, right?
Yes.
So
Yes,
what
sir.
we need to do is we just need to add this entry. Export kube config will create an environment variable in the bash profile or in bash rc. Okay. So if you are working for this session only, you'll use bash rc. If you want to work across the session, even after reboot, just add it in the bash profile.
Mm.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Mainly what this variable is doing is it where to look for the configuration for the connection of worker nodes. So for connection, the details regarding the connection, the authentication method, the key which were used, which were downloaded, will be available in this admin.conf only.
Mm-hmm.
Without admin.conf, we can't communicate with the other machines in our cluster.
Okay.
Okay. So just copy this, open dot bash underscore profile, and here paste. Okay.
Mm.
Save it. Use source dot bash underscore profile to load the changes which were made here. And now, what's the next step? We need to add the worker nodes to the master node. Okay.
Okay.
So we want the worker nodes to join the cluster in the master node. So for that, the command is here. So here it is also saying then you can join any number of worker nodes by running the following commands on each as root user. So we just need to copy this command and run it on all the worker nodes. Multi-execute, exclude master node, and on the worker nodes, just paste. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Other than this, we also need to add that CRI socket also. So CRI hyphen CRI hyphen socket that was Unix colon /var run cri hyphen docker d.sock.
Mhm.
Now just press enter. So it will add these worker node in the cluster of Kubernetes. And now we just need to go on the master machine and run the command kubectl get nodes. See, worker 1, worker 2, and worker 3.
Yes, sir.
So now the cluster has been created, but it's not ready to use. See, the status of all these machines is not ready.
Okay. Yeah.
So till this step, any doubts?
No, sir.
So now what we need to do next is we need to enable a network interface for the cluster. So
Mhm.
what it will actually do is, so for the networking part on the worker nodes between the containers, or here we will call them pods. Okay, so between the pods, if for the networking part, kubeproxy was handling everything. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Kubeproxy will handle what IP to provide, what IP to assign to the pods, in which network it should be part of.
Mhm.
Okay, so that will be done by the kubeproxy. But the connection between these worker nodes and the master plane,
Mhm.
for that we need a CNI. What is a CNI? Container network interface.
Okay.
So we need to configure CNI. Only then these machines will be able to communicate with each other properly and work with. Because let's say this kubeproxy, and let's say this one is the cluster in which one master node is there and 3 worker nodes are there. And when we want to deploy a pod on these worker nodes, so for now let's assume the kubeproxy is working and it assigned an IP address 172.25.2.1 on this machine, on this one, on this one as well. So now they will overlap
Mhm.
because in the same cluster there are 3 machines with the same IP address. So
Yes.
for avoiding this thing, we need to configure CNI between all these machines.
Okay.
Okay. So let me add one more thing here. So here Kubernetes will do what? Kubernetes will deploy pods, or you can say Kubernetes will launch pods. Pods is
Mhm.
nothing but it's the smallest object that can be deployed by a Kubernetes. Okay.
Mhm.
Pod is the smallest object that can be deployed in Kubernetes cluster. So till now we were calling them containers, right?
Yes.
In Kubernetes we will be calling them
Pod.
pods. In pod there is container only. Okay,
Mhm.
but here Kubernetes will deploy a pod in which the container will be deployed automatically by the image that we want to use.
Mhm.
Okay, you can just treat it like a wrapper on the container. Okay. Mainly it is doing the encapsulation here of the container. Like if we want to deploy multiple containers inside a single pod, that is also possible. In very rare scenarios, we might also need to deploy multiple containers on the same pod. Okay, but mostly one pod will only contain a single container.
Okay.
So this one is the master node. These are the worker nodes. Worker 1,
So this
2,
thing
and
we have to do while installing the Kubernetes. That's it. After that, the actual work is totally different, right?
hmm?
It means I'm asking. So these all things what we are doing right now. This is we will do only installing the Kubernetes. So once after actual work comes, so that is totally different of work, right?
This part is only the installation part. Once
Yeah,
the installation is done, then we'll deploy the pods, how to deploy the pods, how they are working. We'll
that's
get on
totally a
that part.
command. So we are going to use commands.
Correct.
So yeah, got it. This is not a configuration. There is no much configuration in Kubernetes, right?
Yeah, not much configuration will be there. Like we just need to that create the files on which we need to tell what configuration, what containers should be deployed and everything. Those configuration that we need to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, hmm. So for now we need to configure CNI so that connection will be made between all these machines. Okay. So in market we have multiple CNIs which is available we can use. Okay. If we go to the link again, installing Kubernetes, let's go to this, using kubeadm with the cluster. This one we have already seen, initializing the cluster kubeadm init.
Yes.
Okay. Then see, this was the message that we received. The Kubernetes control plane has been initialized, and if you want to work with the regular user, you need to do these steps. Okay.
Yeah.
Just after that, what it is saying now, you should now deploy a pod network to the cluster. So this step we need to do. There is no pod network right now between the cluster, so that right now they will not be able to communicate. That's why on the master node, let's wait for it. And we'll use this command get nodes. It will show us the machines, but they will be in not ready state. So do su hyphen. They are in not ready state because of the CNI. CNI is not configured right now.
Yes. From worker node, we have to configure that.
Mhm. We will be using no from control node from master only. We need to configure it. Okay.
Okay.
So which CNI to use? We have multiple CNIs which is available. See here. Installing a pod network add-on. So you must deploy a CNI based pod network so that your pods can communicate with each other, which are on different machines. So if you want them to communicate, they can only communicate via this CNI. Okay. And also it is saying cluster DNS will not start up before a network is installed. And the overlapping point that I was saying, that the pod network must not overlap with any of the host. It will be managed by CNI only.
Yes.
Just skip it for now. So to see a list of admins, here we have the link. Let's go on that. This page. There. So these are all the CNIs which are available in the market. So multiple is available, like ACI, which is integrated with Cisco. We have Antria, operates at layer 3 and 4 of OSI. Then we have Calico, which is a networking and network policy provider, supports flexible set of networking options. Canal is there, Cilium, CNI, Genie, Contev, Contrail. Multiple CNIs are available here. You can use any of them. For now, what we are going to use is this Calico.
Okay.
Mm, Install Calico on Kubernetes. We don't want to configure the IP pool where you can default. Or let's just direct check it here. Mm, Installing Calico on Kubernetes. This one. Nothing like very complex. You just need to use two commands. I will share the commands just a sec. One, yeah, we need to use this command first. Okay, I'll send this command to you. So before running this command, if we do Kubernetes kubectl get nodes, they are still in not ready state. Okay, and the DNS service, if you want to check regarding that, you can use kubectl get pod for kube system. So right now the core DNS pods are on not in ready state. So once the CNI has been configured, they will also come in ready state. Okay, let's copy that command again. Copy, paste. Here it is, calico.yaml, and we just need to run the apply and create command. Where it is? Here it is. So just use kubectl apply -f and the file name calico.yaml. So let's paste. Enter. If we do get nodes, still not ready. Get pods, might take a few minutes. Let's use watch command. Currently in container creating. Okay, so both the core DNS pods have been changed to running state. So let's go back, Control C, and if we do kubectl get nodes, now they are in ready state. Okay. So the installation part and the configuration part of the initial cluster needs to be done till this point. It is only saving that list. The previous history you need to get from the video only. It didn't
Sir,
save here. The steps.
sir.
Hello.
Yeah, you're telling something, sir. What?
Yeah. I'm telling the commands that only these much commands are saved here. So the rest of the commands you need to go through the recording to get them.
Mm.
So what you need to do today is install the cluster. Okay.
Mm. It's over.
Hmm?
Installation part is over now.
Yes, installation part is over now.
So,
Now we can work with
mm.
the pods and we can create them and use them.
Oh, okay.
So while you are not using these machines, just stop them so that they will not get charged. Okay.
Mm.
As for the storage, it will only charge a little bit, so we don't need to worry about that.
Yeah.
This is the first command while when we want to configure the CNI. Okay. To run this command, it will download the calico.yaml file, the manifest of that, and then by using that, you will apply it on the machine and your nodes will come up. They will be in ready state.
Yes.
Save.
Which one is this, sir? Kubectl apply -f. This is for?
This is for applying the CNI. The curl command, which is for downloading this YAML file regarding that CNI.
Yes.
CNI installation. Okay.
Yeah.
So do up to this point.
Mm.
Then tomorrow we'll see how we can deploy our pods and how we can use them.
From tomorrow onwards, actual Kubernetes.
Correct.
So this is just installation part.
Just the installation part. So tomorrow we'll see how we can create the
Mm.
file in which will define the requirement, how many pods and what configuration of the pod needs to be used, what image should be deployed and everything.
Sorry, sir, I didn't get what you were telling.
Like which type of pod we want to deploy, with what image we want to deploy the pod, that
It
needs
means
to be written in YAML.
what kind
Hmm.
of container is there? Now, similarly, we call it as a pod in Kubernetes. So what kind of pods
Kubernetes.
we have? Got it. Okay. So here also we have to pull images.
We need to pull images. The images will be pulled from Docker only.
Okay, the command is same docker pull.
No, we don't need to run the Docker command. We will be running only the kubectl command. But in the backend, that will be communicating with Docker.
Docker.
Okay. If we want to deploy multiple containers, we can directly write the YAML file for that, and according to that file, it will deploy the containers, the pods.
Okay, okay. So here the kubectl will interact with the Docker.
Correct. Kubectl will interact with the whole cluster. What you want to interact with, you will be using kubectl. Like right now, if we do kubectl get pods, so currently we don't have any pods here. Okay. For checking nodes, we already see kubectl get nodes. It will show us the node, whatever node we have, whether they are ready or not. Okay.
Kubectl get nodes is to check the nodes
In your cluster, how many nodes are there, whether they are ready in ready state or not.
Okay, got it.
For now, what we are gonna do is stop the machines. They will not incur that much charges. And in tomorrow's session, once we start them, we'll just update the IP address again. Okay. Stop.
Yes.
So this documentation that we have of Kubernetes, we will be going through that only. So if you get stuck at any point there, you can get help from there as well. So everything is defined there, but we will be going through the main part that we need for the Kubernetes.
Okay.
Okay, so let's finish it here for today.
Okay.
Then we'll continue tomorrow.
Tomorrow evening only, right?
Yeah, this week evening only.
Okay. Done.
Tomorrow and the day after tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, see you tomorrow then.
Okay. So thank you. Bye.
Yeah,
Have a great
welcome.
night.
Okay, you too. Bye.